Busch Gardens Tampa is officially starting work on their Project 2024, and I'm here to tell you, I'm predicting this coaster is going to be huge, and you're about to find out why. My name is Brandon, and welcome to Theme Park Predictions. I'm really glad you're here, and Busch Gardens Tampa is definitely due for their next major coaster since Iron Gwazi officially opened in 2022. But as we all know, it was supposed to open in 2020. With that being said, if Busch Gardens Tampa is planning for their next coaster to open in 2024, that means it's 4 years out from when they built Iron Gwazi, which aligns with the park's coaster timeline from the past. Now you might be wondering, why am I so sure that this is going to be a new coaster? And here is why. I recently created a video, as you can see here, stating that Serpent is rumored to be getting removed from the park permanently, plus with the park removing the Phoenix and the kid rides in this location here, frees up a very nice plot of land for a station and maybe the brake run, maintenance area, and the queue line and entrance for the park's next major coaster. Rumors about a Giga have been around now for maybe 10 or so years for the park, and with B&M really perfecting the Giga Coaster model with Fury 325 and pairing that with the SeaWorld Park's budget as far as new coasters go, because it's clear the chain is not afraid to spend money when it comes to adding large major coasters to the parks. And in 2024, we already know that SeaWorld Orlando is going to be adding a new family launch coaster of some kind. And while all the rumors were pointing to Busch Gardens Williamsburg to be adding their next major coaster that's going to be over 200 feet tall on the old Dragonfire plot of land in 2024, I'm hearing that that is now a 2025 project. And for the 2024 season, we can expect a new flat ride to open up in the Mock Tower plot of land. And at this time, there's no rumblings about a new coaster or even rumors for San Diego and San Antonio, which tells me that Busch Gardens Tampa is almost confirmed to be getting a new coaster in 2024, since the SeaWorld and Busch Gardens parks usually add around 2 to 3 new coasters each year, at least the last 4 to 5 years they've been doing that. And I don't think that trend's going to stop anytime soon. As you can see here, this is a permit for the demolition of the Serpent Wild Mouse coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa. Which leads me to my next question. Is the park going to be relocating this coaster somewhere else in the park, or has it sadly reached the end of its lifespan? Because originally this coaster opened up at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, I believe in 1995, so it is kind of up there in age. And since it's very rare to see a park relocate a coaster from one location and move it to a new location in the park, I'm going to guess this coaster will either be relocated to another park in the chain or sold off to some park overseas potentially. But here's the really good news. If the new coaster station, let's say it is a Giga, if the station will be located right here and the land that runs along the side of the maintenance road, as you see highlighted here, is used for the lift hill, it would be very easy for BGT to be able to fit a lift hill for a Giga Coaster in this location. For example, Fury 325 is 325 feet tall, and using the measurements tool on Google Maps, you can see here from the back of the station all the way to the bottom of the first drop only takes up 800 feet. And remember, that's if the Giga is 325 feet or taller. Now, if Busch Gardens wants to pull a Kings Island and kind of cheap their way out of it and add a Hyper/Giga hybrid coaster, then obviously they will not need as much room here. However, this plot of land, they can make it as large as they want. And just to give you an idea, from point A to point B, as you see here, is over 900 feet long. So whatever Busch Gardens Tampa is planning for this location, if it is a Giga, we are potentially talking the world's tallest, fastest, and maybe longest Giga coaster ever built. Now, some of you are probably thinking that there's no way in hell that Busch Gardens Tampa will be able to build a Giga due to the height restrictions. And all I have to say to that is, this is speculation. Not every time a park can get approved for things, but a lot of times there might be some hurdles the park will have to jump over. But I do feel as if this project, if Busch Gardens Tampa really wants a Giga, then I think this location is the only location in the park that would get approved due to the height, since it is located in the direct center of the park. All the highlighted area that you see here could be where the layout could go for this massive new roller coaster, really leaving the park enough room to really do whatever they want to have B&M do. Whether that is an out and back Giga layout like Orion or an L-shaped one like Fury or Leviathan. Now, this could very well be intimate, or I'm going to throw in mock rides potentially. There's a lot of manufacturers that could build a Giga Coaster, and Intamin has not built one since I-305. And over the last few years, the SeaWorld parks have built more Intamin coasters in their parks than any other manufacturer out there. So I'm personally not sold that this will be a B&M if it is a Giga. It could very well be an Intamin or possible mock rides, or maybe another manufacturer out there. And before I share with you exactly why I think this is a massive project and not a family coaster, I have to bring up the idea, because it's going to be asked about in the comments, but could this project actually be the first RMC T-Rex? I mean, I think there's a slight chance for that. It is now going to be 2024, and when RMC debuted the T-Rex, at least announced it, what was that, 5 or 6 years ago? Now, obviously, that coaster model has a ton of rumors swirling all around it, whether it's ever going to get built or not, but I think it's pretty safe to say that it's going to get built at some point. It's just a matter about when, and obviously which park and how large. If this is not a Giga, then I think it's either going to be an Intamin LSM launch coaster, something like Pantheon, but much larger, or a multi-launch family coaster of some type. If you're enjoying this video, then all I ask you to do is give it a like. Every like really does help the channel, and I really do appreciate each one. Also, if you like the shirt I'm wearing, my life update, Still Riding Coasters, you can find a link for this shirt in the description of this video. Now it's time for the drum roll. Why do I think that this is a much larger project than just a family coaster? And the reason why is quite simple. Why would Busch Gardens Tampa remove Sand Serpent so soon if this project was for a medium-sized coaster or even a family-sized coaster? I really feel as if that was the case, if this was for a smaller coaster, then Sand Serpent would have stayed open through the busy summer season. And then come late August, or at least after Labor Day, the park would close it down forever. However, that obviously is not the case. And Busch Gardens Tampa really never announced that it's closing. They just kind of decided to not open up anymore, which tells me that the park is really trying to expedite the progress of the construction for this project, which also tells me I think this thing's going to be a lot larger again. Now you might be thinking, with SeaWorld Orlando debuting a new coaster next year and already starting some massive clearing for it, and they started that a few months back, and all rumors are pointing to that being a new family coaster, so why would this be a Giga if they're starting this project in April? And the answer there is pretty simple actually. SeaWorld Orlando is a much busier park than Busch Gardens Tampa is, and the SeaWorld Orlando's new coaster is literally in the center of the park. It's going to be interacting over the midways, and so many different variables go into that placement for that coaster. And the difference is, with Busch Gardens Tampa's project, if this is a Giga and the layout utilizes the plot of land as you see here, the major difference is no guest areas are impacted for this construction project because the area around the Phoenix and Sand Serpent attraction could easily be walled off. Busch Gardens Tampa has a very unique opportunity here to build Florida's tallest, fastest, longest roller coaster, and arguably the best coaster in the park and the entire state. Yes, I love Iron Gwazi, but if the Giga is done right and has a layout like Fury 325, then who knows what the favorite coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa will be. And one last reason why this makes the most sense for the park is Epic Universe. Universal's new massive new theme park is opening in late 2024 and early 2025. So by adding the Giga Coaster around the same time period makes a ton of sense for Busch Gardens and is a very smart decision for the park as well as for marketing power. So there you have it. Things are getting very excited down at Busch Gardens Tampa, and I cannot wait to visit the park again to check out the progress of this new coaster. What do you guys think it's going to be? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to smile today, even if you're having a bad day, and keep riding coasters.